Hey guys, welcome back. It's your girl Toya T. I'm in my car and I've had this topic on my soul for a bit, and I thought that this would be a great time to do it. It's Friday the 13th, hence why the black lipstick. So I'm feeling in the mood to just to unleash. So I've been talking about this with my students, and I've been writing about it. I blog. If you haven't checked out my blog yet, please take a gander over there. It is figureoutyourlifeblog.com, where I talk about various things about how to figure out your life. Well, particularly not how you can figure out your life, but how I'm trying to figure out my life as I've reached my 30s, and I'm trying to figure out, what do I want to do? Where am I going? What is the next decade going to look like for me? And I definitely don't have all the answers, and you kind of get a look into how I am processing some of the things that people my age and from my generation are going through. So the topic that I really want to talk about is the importance of living in your truth. And I've been pretty transparent with my students this semester. I actually ended up crying in one of my classes, and not because I started it, but one of my students, two of my students actually opened up about their struggles with depression and mental illness during one of my lectures from my social deviance class. And one female student actually started to tear up and cry. And if you know me, I'm a crier. I can't see other people cry and not end up crying myself. I've always been that way, and so I just let it be. I allowed them to see that I am human, and I broke down in class and let the tears, do what they had to do, and so that I can continue with my class. But after that, it was amazing to see how the students really opened up and shared with each other about their struggles with anxiety and depression as young people in America. And it was important for me for them to be honest, and for me to be honest with them about it's okay to struggle and to kind of live in that truth that you don't always have it all together. I don't always have it all together. I don't have all the answers, but I understand. If you don't bullshit with me, if you don't try to lie to me about why you can't turn your paper in or whatever, and you just tell me, I'm just stressed. I have a lot of classes. I'm working. I understand that my students have lives outside of school, and sometimes advisors or people don't catch kids beforehand when they overload themselves and tell them how to deal with that. It's kind of hard when you have five different professors or four different professors who don't know each other, don't coordinate anything, and you end up having all your exams and all your papers, and you're working part-time, and you have family issues and boyfriend and girlfriend issues and all this other stuff going on in your life. So I've encouraged my students to be honest with me when they feel that they can't give 100% because other things outside are are pressuring them. And it was amazing to see how many students, I had at least 10 students in my 35 student class, actually open up with each other and say that they struggled. They either struggle or are struggling with depression and anxiety and the fear of failure and the inability to say no and to not always be strong and over helping other people and not caring about themselves. And I thought that was just great, a great kind of thing to happen in my class, and really reaffirmed for me that what I was doing was working, that my students felt so comfortable in the space to actually be honest with me about something so personal, but something that definitely is affecting lots of young people across this country, to the point that you hear about young people and successful people committing suicide because they're not living in their truth. They're not living in, I'm not doing okay, I need help, I'm suffering. And so as just trying to tie it all in my other class, in my social inequality class, I revealed to them, again, still going off this transparency and seeing how well it worked in my social deviance class, I told my students that you really have to we talk about a lot of tough issues in my social inequality class, giving them statistics about how, the possibility of being discriminated against, or the kind of barriers that certain people have to deal with based off of their race, gender, class, religion, sexuality, all of these things. There's tons of barriers that are really affecting people in this country, even though we're under the guise of saying that everyone is equal, but everyone is not equal. And I try to explain to them that just because it's out there, just because there are these barriers, if you fit into these characteristics, does not mean that you cannot achieve your goals, but you just have to be informed. And I explained to them, even for myself, that once I stopped caring, and I mean, I'm just going to be blunt here. Once I stopped giving a fuck, and I mean, stopped worrying about whether my students, because of my age, see me as smart, and my age, my race, I do recognize that I am a young black female. I am 32, which is not too far off from most of my students. I'm probably about 10 or 12 years older than my students. I have brothers that are the same age as my students. So I'm not that far in age. I'm not that far in generation. I listen almost to the same music, especially since 90 music is coming back. And I just explained to them that bluntly, like, you know, you can write whatever you want in your student evaluations. The reason why you guys enjoy my class, and it looks like I enjoy the class, is because I stopped worrying about whether or not you would judge me based off my age and my gender and my race and think that I don't know the topic, that I'm stupid. And that was something that really held me up the first semester that I worked at the school, because I was so, you know, caught up in, oh my gosh, I said that word wrong, or I just showed them I don't know how to spell this word. I had a brain fart. And it just got me so anxious that every time I left that class, it just felt draining. Like, I actually just pushed myself into a deep depression and anxiety over my own class of students that are in the class to learn, and I know the information, but I was so concerned about what they thought about me. I wanted them to like me. I wanted them to give me good reviews. And, you know, I once I got past that, and this has just been since last year, once I got past that feeling of wanting them to like me and to, you know, give me good reviews, I became a better teacher. I became freer. I became, you know, comfortable in the space that is my space. It's a space I created, a class I created. I created this syllabus. I created the readings. I created how this class is going to run. And if I want the students to be, you know, brave and ask questions when they don't understand something, even if it seems like a stupid question, because that's what stops students from learning. And once they stop caring about what other people think of them, and they're actually able to ask those questions, they do better. And in the same way, I feel like for the professors on the other hand, especially for those who are professors of color, and particularly women, that we need to stop caring so much. Not that you don't have to not give a fuck at all, but I just think that's the best way to kind of explain it, especially for my generation, for those who are teaching in environments, particularly, you know, in predominantly white universities, that you should care about your work and making sure that you put your best foot forward, but you need to stop caring about what other people are going to think when you put your full truth out there, when you're authentic, when you show your passion for something, when you don't hide from something. So, you know, being able to, you know, tell my class, like, yeah, what we're talking about is difficult. I am not going to deny the fact that I am a black woman in this class teaching majority white students. And most of you may not understand some of the issues and struggles that pertain to me and other students of color in this classroom, but I'm going to try to make you understand, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it and make it seem like we live in a land of rainbows and whatever, rainbows and lollipops, and this is not Candyland. This is America in the 21st century, and there is racism out there, there's sexism out there, there's classism out there, there's homophobia out there, there's, you know, all kinds, xenophobia that Donald Trump is putting out there. You know, we have all these things, but we should be able to confront them, because once you actually say something and confront these things, that's how they change. And for me, I became a lot more comfortable in my classroom with the material, talking to my students, when I actually just, you know, broke down, not a professional wall, because I give them information. I'm not your friend. I am your professor, but I am young. So I'm going to speak like a young person, but I'm going to give you the information. I'm going to give you the education that you paid for, but I'm going to break it down in a way that makes me comfortable and makes it something that you can understand, because I do understand that we are in pretty much the same generation. I mean, look at me today. I'm wearing black lipstick. If you can see me, I'm wearing my Biggie is King sweatshirt to class today, because I'm young. This is it. I mean, I listen to Biggie. This is me. I have locks. You know, I work at a state university, so it's not like a corporate office. When it is, I dress up. I do dress most of the time. It's a Friday. I have a 50-minute class. Like, this is how I feel comfortable. It's if corporate or offices can have, you know, casual Fridays, I can have casual Fridays too. It doesn't diminish the information that I give to my students or the quality of education. I just believe in being as authentic as possible. And I pretty much told them that once I stopped caring about them liking me and them giving me good reviews, that I felt much more comfortable in the class and I'm having more fun. Even though I'm tired and I'm reading all your stuff, like, I go the extra mile for you. And I will be honest and tell you that I respect you as adults, and I expect you to give me what I give you. So if I tell you the truth, you need to tell me the truth. If I say, I'm excited to hear what you guys have to say. This is much longer than I thought, but I want to hear what you guys have to say about living in your truth and the importance of it. It's funny. I mean, like, they talk about this in conferences. I'm going to a conference in Boston, ESS, the Eastern Sociological Society, and they're having a whole like panel about how as, you know, professors of color and women, how do we negotiate, you know, being authentic, giving information, but dealing with, you know, working in predominantly white institutions and talking about race with students and not worrying, you know, dealing with, you know, complaints. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. Comment, like, and subscribe. Share with your friends. Share with other people. And I would love to hear what you guys have to say about living in your truth in the end, you know, how you're living in your truth or any struggles that you have. So thanks, guys, for checking me out. And I'm about to go give an exam to one of my students. I'm here early before my class, 2 hours before I'm supposed to be here. I'm here to give a makeup. Anyway, see you guys later. Bye.